Hey everybody, welcome to the video, you guys. My name is Brent Gill, and today we are going to be talking about the PowerDewise Lavalier Microphone. It'd probably help if I had the box around here somewhere. You fucking idiot. Let me try that one more time. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the PowerDewise Lavalier Microphone. This is a how-to video for the best practices on how to use this microphone. So if you're looking to compare this microphone to other lavalier microphones in the same price range, this is not your video. There's a ton of them out there. Please just keep searching for those. But before you go, check out some of my comedy videos. They're pretty funny, if I do say so myself. If you've already decided, like, yo, I just got this PowerDewise, I want to make sure that I can get the best sound out of it, this is the video you got to watch. I'm going to show you the best practices, the best way to plug it into a couple different devices, and how to get the best sound out of this microphone. Because to be honest, for a $30 microphone, it's a pretty good quality mic. So without further ado, let's get started after this badass intro that I don't have. You think I'm gonna stop talking like this anytime soon? I might, you never know. Anyway, let's get to it. All right, so let's get the test started. Now, before we get started, this is how the test is gonna run. I'm gonna do a baseline into this Shure SM7B. This is a $400 podcasting microphone. It's probably gonna sound really fucking good, okay? So I'm gonna do it into here first, and then I'm gonna do it into the lavalier, into the multiple different plug-in options, okay? I'm gonna say the same stuff, and I'm also gonna do a little bit of silence at the very beginning so you can hear what the room tone sounds like when no one is talking, all right? Now, before any review, any good review, we got to get prepared. So let's get prepared together. Everybody, grab your bong, and let's get started. All right. Woo! Yeah! Okay, here we go. Starting off with the Shure SM7B. Here we go. Room tone first. Moses supposes his toes are roses, but Moses supposes erroneously. For nobody's toesies are posies of roses, as Moses supposes his toes to be. All right, now we're gonna do this with the microphone plugged in what I think is the correct way, okay? So this is the microphone plugged into my iPhone 5S, and it is plugged in through this lightning cable dongle right there, okay? That's very important for this. You can see what my levels are right there. Okay. Moses supposes his toes are roses, but Moses supposes erroneously. For nobody's toes are posies of roses, as Moses supposes his toes to be. Okay, cool. Now, that was the way that I think it should be. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take the microphone and I'm going to plug it directly into the headphone jack, okay? So here's the thing that I found is when you get the microphone, you assume that you're supposed to plug it into the headphone jack. But in reality, I don't think that's the best practice. So we are in the headphone jack, just like PowerDewise kind of instructs you to do. So here is the voltage meter. You can see it. I do have the same settings, 4 dBs down, and a peak limiter on there. So we're going to say the same thing. Here we go. And Moses supposes his toes are roses, but Moses supposes erroneously. For nobody's toes are posies of roses, as Moses supposes his toes to be. All right. So that is with the iPhone 5S into the headphone jack. Now what we're going to do is we're going to plug this into an H2N. Okay, so I have this now plugged into my Zoom H2 This is because I can't seem to get it to work on the Zoom H4. I don't know why, but it doesn't seem to want to work. So this is the Zoom H2. Really helpful when you can't see the screen. Let's see, there it is right there. All right, so let us do this now. This is plugged into the Zoom H2. Here we go. Moses supposes his toeses are roses, but Moses supposes erroneously, for nobody's toeses are posies of roses, as Moses supposes his toeses to be. All right, now before we start this next test, I do want you to know that I'm doing this on the exact same app on both phones. I'm doing this on Voice Recorder or Voice Record Pro. It's free. I do enjoy it a bunch. I think it's a really good app. You get a lot of control over it. You can choose your sample rate, your frequency, all that stuff. You can choose on your own before you record. So this right here is on my iPhone XS. So we're recording on the iPhone XS. Here we go. Moses supposes his toeses are roses, but Moses supposes erroneously. For nobody's toeses are posies of roses, as Moses supposes his toeses to be. Moses supposes his toeses are roses, but Moses supposes erroneously. For nobody's toeses are posies of roses, as Moses supposes his toeses to be. Moses supposes his toeses are roses, but Moses supposes erroneously. For nobody's toeses are posies of roses, as Moses supposes his toeses to be. Moses supposes his toeses are roses, but Moses supposes erroneously. For nobody's toeses are posies of roses, as Moses supposes his toeses to be. Moses supposes his toeses are roses, but Moses supposes erroneously. For nobody's toeses are posies of roses, as Moses supposes his toeses to be. Moses supposes his toeses are roses, but Moses supposes erroneously. For nobody's toesies are posies of roses, as Moses supposes his toeses to be. All right, that's it. That's the last time you have to hear me say Moses supposes his toeses. You know that I just learned this in high school, and it's the only tongue twister. That in lift the ladder later lisped Lester. Well, there you have it, everyone. I am curious what you guys think. I mean, I know what I think, and I'm about to tell you, but I'm curious what you guys think about this. Please leave it in the comments. And if you have any other recommendations or anything like that, please leave those in the recommendations. We're all a community here. We're all trying to make our content better and sound better, and everyone knows that audio is so important when it comes to creating videos. So help the community out if you can and want to. Leave it in those comments. You know, personally, after hearing all of these, and I gotta say, I have not tweaked any of the audio for the tests, okay? I have tweaked the audio for this part right here, and the very beginning as well. But for the actual tests themselves, I didn't touch the audio that is directly out of the devices themselves, okay? And I tried to get the volume pretty close from the get-go there. Long story short, I mean, I gotta say, the answer to this, my conclusion is the whole reason I made this video. I was truly blown away at the difference in sound quality between plugging it in with the dongle and without the dongle. I mean, it was truly mind-blowing how big of a difference it was. And it's mind-blowing how bad the Zoom was. It sounds very, very tinny when you plug it into that line in. And I think a lot of that has to do with the quality of the preamps for that type of a microphone input, right? And also, I don't really want that. I kind of want this to be a little bit wireless for me. I'd like to be able to plug this eventually into a wireless system. But for now, I'm planning on plugging this into my iPhone 5S and putting that in my pocket and recording to here, and syncing it later. You know, which is what I did for this project. And it's in Final Cut and in all of the editing systems, the sync is super easy. So now I have something small that I don't use that can fit in the back pocket really easily to hide the microphone. And so all the videos that I'm trying to do now have that have the capability of this wireless lavalier, right? So best practices, like I said, as you heard, there's a major difference in plugging it directly into the headphone jack and plugging it into the lightning adapter there, all right? Because it's a digital input, right? But when you plug it into the headphone jack, it's not digital anymore. It turns it analog. So you can hear how it really kind of loses a lot of the low end and the mid range of my voice when I go directly in to the headphone jack. So be sure that you use it with the dongle, the iPhone lightning adapter there. Even though you have the option, in a pinch, throw it in the headphone jack. What are you going to do? In a pinch, fine. But I really think there's a massive difference between that. I'm very curious as to what this is going to sound like with a wireless setup, right? So when I finally get a Rode Wireless Go, I'm really curious what this is going to sound like with those systems, right? This microphone itself, very hot. It runs real hot, right? And what I mean by that is at the same levels, this microphone is a lot louder than other microphones, like the Rode Lavalier Go or the Movo, the W, or whatever that one is, WMX or something like that. This one's a lot louder than that. I have a loud voice myself, so I have to turn it down. As you saw in the videos, my gain was down to -4 decibels. So as long as you have a thing that can control that, which most wireless systems will have that, awesome. If you are recording this into your iPhone and you're loud like me and you're trying to plug it directly into the iPhone, word of the wise, don't. Don't. I mean, you really, if that's what you want to do and you're trying to up your video game, that you record to your actual device. Because I will say this, one of my biggest gripes is the cable for this is freaking ridiculously long. This is also under my shirt still, okay? It's 6 feet long. To me, that's 3.5 feet too long. But it is what it is. It's a cheap microphone. And they give you an extension and they give you a lot of cool stuff, which you'll see in the other videos. I mean, you get this, let's see. So you get this 6-foot extension cord. You get this adapter to plug into your camera or into a wireless system there that just needs tip ring sleeve instead of TRRS. You get 2 windscreens. I mean, and you get the nice carrying pouch. You get a lot of really cool stuff, okay? I will give them credit for that. But you, the producer, have to be better at producing. So what I recommend getting is an app called Filmic Pro. It's this guy right here. That's a free app as well. I think you can get some upgrades to it, fine. But this gives you a lot of different options for controlling your camera as well as your audio input. And I cannot stress enough how important it is to have control over your audio inputs when you're recording if you're plugging directly into your iPhone. You're gonna blow it out. It's gonna sound like so just don't, okay? So this is what the microphone sounds like plugged directly into my iPhone XS and recording from the camera app. The built-in iOS, what you get free from old Steve Jobs camera app. So use Filmic Pro. Okay. 5th try. I can't believe how many times it's taken me to capture a B-roll segment. But this is me recording, same setup, into Filmic Pro. So as you can tell already, my voice is not clipping, it's not popping, and that's a huge deal. So Filmic Pro is a free app. It's very in-depth. You have control over every aspect of your camera, including audio levels, which if you're planning on hardwiring directly into your phone, I cannot recommend this app enough. It's free. I'll put a link in the description. You're welcome. But this is definitely way better. Back to it. There you have it. I think that's a pretty good how to use the PowerDewise microphone. Again, I've got my gripes with it. I think that it's, I think it's a good bang for your buck. You'll see videos where they're like, it's 22 bucks. They've raised the price. It's 32, maybe 35, depending on when you look for it. But I still think for a $35 microphone, this sounds pretty darn good, and I think it's worth your while, especially if you're someone that's trying to heart plug directly into your iPhone or into your Android. Great for that because it's got a long cable. I don't really like that. I wanted to be able to have something kind of wireless. So until I can get a wireless setup, my extra iPhone works perfect for this. Plus it's got a bit of Velcro on there as well, so I can stick it to the back of my iPhone, put this in my back pocket. It doesn't take up a lot of space, and I don't have to use my iPhone XS for that. I could, in a pinch, just use that as my camera, you know? So I'd love to know what you guys think about it. If you are good at audio, maybe you have some tips on how to tweak this, maybe to get the best kind of sound out of it. Please leave it in the comments. Other than that, thanks for tuning in, y'all. Please check out my other videos. I'm a stand-up comedian as well, and I love tech stuff too. So I got a lot of fun videos on the page, and I'd appreciate a subscribe if you want to. And we'll see you guys next time for another, I don't know, video of whatever I'm interested in. So we'll see you guys. Thanks again for tuning in. Goodbye.